Hello, Evans Park and Franklin Avenue, and welcome back to week number 1 in March. This month, I decided we're going to have some fun, and we're going to dedicate the month to all about games. So, I got this idea because I was inspired by my daughter, Fiona, and my son, Liam, who love gaming, and one of the things they love to do is play Minecraft. And just this morning, I actually saw Fiona playing. It might have been Roblox, I don't really remember, but she made this whole house, and she's turning it, and you can see the different angles, and I thought, wow, that's a really cool game to play. So I decided we're going to kind of create what I saw Fiona do, but we're going to make ours 3D, and we're going to make it tactile, meaning you can touch it, because even though things that are virtual are fun to do, it's still good to know how to do them IRL, in real life, right? So, the first thing that you're going to need is a surface to build your project on. Now, in school, I'm going to give you paper. If you're at home, I just want to show you, I've been keeping this box because I absolutely love the illustrations on it. I think they're so fun. And I was going to do something with these later. But because I need the cardboard now, I am going to cut the cardboard. I'll have this nice piece of cardboard to work on. Now, if you're in school with me, I'll give you a nice piece of cardboard, okay? The other thing you'll need will be some paper. Now, this is paper that I was using. Again, I don't throw anything out, so I have this harder paper, which is going to work great. If you're at home, you can use plain computer paper, will work just fine, or even lightweight cardboard, or folders, old folders that mom and dad or whoever you live with might have, because they're a little bit stronger, okay? So the first thing I want you to do is get your surface ready, and let's grab something that we can draw on this with. So I'm going to go back there and grab a pencil, and I'll see you back in a second. Okay, I grabbed a pen. I grabbed a ruler. If you're in school, use something straight to work with, like an edge of a book if you don't have a ruler. I also grabbed blue paper instead because it's a little easier to see with the lines. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my ruler, just like this, and I'm going to draw some lines across the paper. These lines I'm going to cut later on, and they will become the walls of my project. Now, when I say walls, you might want to make a labyrinth. A labyrinth is like a maze, or you might want to play Roblox and create a house. So I'm going to cut these right now. Okay, so I have my cardboard now, I have my strips, and you will need either a glue stick or a bottle of glue, okay? So, once you have everything laid out, let me tell you what I want you to think about. So, the object of the game is to basically build something. Now, I don't want to tell you what to build because I want it to come from your imagination. But I want you to use the same techniques and tricks that I'm doing, because by doing that, it helps guide you a little bit better. Okay? So, these strips of paper are going to be, like I said, the walls of your project. Now, I want to talk to you about how to bend these, how to glue them, and all that stuff, okay? So, once you create a strip, what I like to do is very neatly, again, I mean, you got to be neat here. We just did origami, so you should be used to folding, right? I'm going to create a little lip, I like to call that, right? At the edge on the bottom. And that creates what I like to call a glue tab. That's the thing that you're going to glue it to the cardboard, okay? So, for example, I might want to create a wall right here. And to do that, I'm going to grab my glue stick, and I'm going to rub some glue across the lip that I just bent. Now, one little trick is instead of gluing it sorry. Instead of gluing it on top like that, if this is going to go on the edge, glue it under the cardboard. That way, you don't see the little tab. The tab got glued down below. Okay, so trick number 1, if you're gluing anything across the edge, make sure that you're gluing it under the cardboard or under the paper. Okay, now trick number 2 is, let's say you want to make something that bends, like an L. Okay, so fold it again. Always keep your folds the same thickness. That way the walls will always be the same height. Okay, so do you see how I bent that again, made a tab? Now, I want to bend a corner. So to do that, if I just bend this little tabby thing is going to get all crooked. Do you see what's happening? It's not bending with the corner. So what you want to do is grab your scissors, okay, and before you bend it, right where you're going to bend it, just make a little snip in the little fold, and then when you go to bend it, look what happens. It creates a little L. Do you see that? So now, let's say I want to put an L. I am going to rub the glue underneath this thingy and glue this down. Oh, maybe like that. Maybe I'm making a house, right? Put it off to the side. Now I'm seeing one thing here that I don't like, and I want to show you how I'm going to fix it. Okay, here's the thing I don't like. I have my wall right here, but there's a gap. Do you see that gap right there? I want this to look like it's connected, like a real wall or a real house. So before I glue this down, I really want to snip the end a little bit, bend it, okay, and create a corner. And that way when I glue this down, I'm going to put a little glue here on the back of that wall. And it's easier when you see it, what I'm talking about. But when I stick this down, okay, my wall can then be glued by, do you see what I did? I overlapped it a bit. And that way now, if I trim this, because I made my bend a little too big, so I'm just going to go in and trim that wall. You can see, oops, I cut that too short. It's okay. Now I do not have a space there. Okay, so if I look on this side of the house or the building, this is a complete corner. Okay, do you understand what I'm talking about? So before you glue anything, this is such a great project because you have to look at it before you do it, right? So you can already see I have a really cool project starting. Now maybe, oh, I really should put something across the edge. Let me do that like this. Okay, you can see what I did was I took my own advice and I overlapped it here. I clipped it, I bent it, I continued around the edge, clipped it, bent it, and I continued. Now you can see how it started to create the walls, right? Ooh, look, Minecraft, I can see all the way around it, right? But now I want to cut a door in here, okay? And I want the door to actually be there. I don't want it to be an opening. So let me show you how to do that. You can draw your door first, or what you can do is you're going to snip where the door is going to open, and then while it's still wet here, oops, you want to clip your little bottom, okay, bend, just, you want to clip off the little tabby, I'm going to call that the little tabby, do you see what I did? And then if I bend it, do you see how it created a door that can open and shut? And before you officially glue anything, you have to plan this kind of stuff out. I'm doing it as I go because I want you to see how I'm problem solving. And now maybe on the other wall, maybe this door opens and then this one is a straight opening. So I'm gonna maybe make a big wide doorway. So I gotta kind of cut this out. And I might keep this little wall here that I'm chopping out, because maybe it can work in another spot of my project. But you see how now I created an opening? See that? So a door, an opening, and now this goes to the next room. Okay? So, what I want you to do today is think, gather, and plan. Now, you can obviously start and you can finish this part today. And one tip, I didn't show you, but I would definitely do it, is with a pencil, I would maybe figure out where I'm going to put all my walls. Okay, that's going to help you a lot. That way, let's say you do this with a pencil first, and you kind of plan out your walls. You can say, okay, cool. I can take my paper, let me move you down, and this wall looks like this, like an L. So I can just kind of say, okay, that's going to overlap, and then that allows you to do a little more planning and a little more figuring it out before you move on to cutting. And then look at that. See, if you do it, you can plan out your walls a bit better. Okay? That's up to you. Every artist works a bit differently. Okay? So for today, like I said, I'm going to recap. Get your stuff. Start building your layout. It can be the floor plan of a house. It could be the floor plan of an alien ship. It can be, I don't know, whatever you think it's going to be. But the object is to create the walls on the surface. Okay? And then next week, we're going to move into part 2. All right? So have fun creating part 1, and I will see you next week. Have a great day, boys and girls. Bye.